Hey folks, Jesus is coming soon. Now I truly believe that in my heart. And I know I say this all the time because I want y'all to know that I'm right here with y'all. That times are very, very, very tough. And some people in our daily life drain us of all the energy we have. And it's spiritually draining dealing with, it could be family or old friends or whatever the case may be. You know, especially if they are narcissistic and things. At that point, I want to tell y'all about this story because I know there's a lot of people out there right now, probably someone watching this video who's dealing with the same situation. Maybe you have a brother or a sister or a cousin who's bad narcissistic. And sometimes there comes a point where you have to completely dust your feet and tell the person, I no longer want to speak to you anymore. Now, I'll tell y'all something, and I know there's a lot of you out there like to call me a crybaby, and that's okay. I don't take offense to it. That's fine, because I know how far I've came in my walk with Christ. From where I was, rage to everything hurts, you know. It's a big difference. But in 2013, when mine and my wife's son died, it wasn't a miscarriage. He was 2 months old, and he died of SIDS. Literally, and I'm not just saying this, nobody was there for me or my wife. My old friends, family, I don't know if it's because they didn't know what to say. That's what broke me down so low, lower than you can ever go in life. And I believe it was in that depression and rage where I found out how good God really is, y'all. So in a way, I'm truly thankful that nobody was there for me. One, it showed me that those people didn't really care. That people in my daily life really didn't care. And another thing, it showed me that God was always there. When I thought nobody was there, God was there. And that's the most important thing, y'all. But sometimes I get curious to know what happened. You know, like, I've been married for 16 years. One marriage. I got, kids with one woman. I didn't want to have 2, 3, 4, 5 different, I just didn't want that. My brothers were married and divorced a few times, and I didn't want that. Sorry about this, y'all. But sometimes I do get curious, and I want to know, like, where were you when I was at my lowest point in my life? And these people, excuse the expression, but they up and vanish like a fart in the wind. I mean, they really do. They always say the same thing when you're going through tribulations in your life. People say the same thing, and I've noticed they say it to everybody. Your friends, your family. I'm here if you need anything. But truthfully, they're not. I want to tell you all these things in my hurt right now because I'm very, very hurt over my brother, my real brother. My oldest brother died 3 years ago. I patched things up with him before he died. But my middle brother, he's always been a narcissist. Um, only talks to me when it's convenient for him. You know, things like that. Was never there in my tribulations in life. Made an appearance a couple of times when I was in the hospital or something and thought that I was supposed to throw myself down and worship him or something. I'm sure y'all know some people like that. But we got to talking about 2 months ago. And this is the truth. This is how it goes. He has a problem in his life with girlfriends, and then he calls me wanting to. I don't know the mindset of a narcissist. I don't. I just know what I see. But it's like, I'm having troubles in my life, so I'm going to end my life. It's just always the threats of doing that. And then you're like, don't do that. You don't need to do that. Try to help that person. But I got to thinking. I was like, he's wanting me to help him through his difficult time in life. And then I asked the question. I said, I truly want to know, where were you when my son, your nephew, died? Where were you? Why didn't you come around? When I called you, you didn't answer the phone. When I texted you, you texted me back 4 or 5 weeks later. Nobody on the face of the earth is that busy. Nobody. I don't care who you are. I used to work 16 hours a day and I still made time for people in my life, so I know nobody is that busy. And I got nothing. For 2 months, I got nothing. Then all of a sudden, I get a text, let's go fishing. You never responded to. Okay. At that point, y'all, I realized it was time to completely dust my feet. Completely. Yes, it hurts. But it's time, because I'm so drained from it. It's just time to move on. All this to say, y'all, that if you're experiencing something like this in your daily life, and then you just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep trying to help that person, but they're beating you down and saying everything's your fault, even though if you ask your spouse, hey, is there something wrong? Oh, just be honest with me. Is there something wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Just tell me, am I doing something wrong? And then your spouse is like, no, you're not doing anything wrong. It's not you. It's that person. Dust your feet. Growing up, I felt like that I could never defend myself. I guess that's why I went in such a rage when I turned a teenager and into my 20s, is because every time I would go to defend myself, I would get in trouble. But it was okay for everybody around me to spat on me and kick dirt on me, so to speak. But it was when I got pushed over the edge and I snapped, I got in trouble. So I had to keep everything bottled up inside. That's not a place, because that stuff comes out eventually. It's just like this primal rage that you have caged inside of you. It shouldn't be there. And when you find Christ, it's like that caged rage gets thrown in the pits of hell where it belongs. And you no longer have that. It replaces it with emotions and love. Jesus does. And that's what we need more of inside the church is love for one another, and compassion and understanding. People lack understanding. People lack love. There's no humbleness. Sorry again, y'all. Don't trying to figure out how to put this 1 second. Don't make the same mistake I did and try over and over and over for 13, 14 years. And it's always the same ending because that other person never changes. You've changed, but that person never changes. And they just constantly hurt you and hurt you and hurt you and belittle you and hurt you. And only their feelings matter. And they're, you know, it's only when it's convenient for them that they want to talk to you. And throw them out, y'all. Throw them out. Don't do what I did and keep trying. It's not worth it. Especially if they never apologize. If it's getting you big time in your emotions, whether you're getting angry or depressed or really, really sad over it or things, it's time to dust your feet with that person. Anger is not a good thing. Because once you get angry with somebody and you continuously get anger, it eventually turns into hate. And I'm dead serious when I say this. You won't make it to heaven with hate in your heart. Sorry for the long video, y'all. It's just something for y'all to think on today. And Jesus is coming so very soon. Please keep my family in your prayers. Also, we have a wildfire that's literally right across the lake there in Texas that's headed this way. And I think it's like 500 or 600 acres right now. And it is humongous. I'll post some pictures of it after this. I love all of you. I truly do. Romans 10:9-13. God bless.
Lord, you know the Spirit's willing, but my flesh is wearing thin. How much darker can the night get before the light will shine again? I was praying for an answer in the storm, and then I hear like a whisper in the distance telling me I shouldn't fear. So I lift my hand toward heaven on this altar where I fall. Jesus, I lay down my burdens, and by the cross you take them all. Jesus, you say